Listen, I'm going to say this as an expression. We can't wall off the wall. The world. I'm not talking about the south of the border, okay? That disease spreads. One of the reasons, it's not just humanitarian reasons that we go into, let's say, places like Africa to stop the spread of disease, whether it's HIV, Ebola, tuberculosis, all kinds of horrible things, because we know these diseases spread, correct?
Yes, ma'am. Global pandemic is always a real risk.
All right, so this is why I want to go back to the discussion that some of us had about this global gag rule, what I call this ultra obsession that your administration has with abortion. It's one thing, we don't use federal funds for abortion. I may disagree with that. But the fact of the matter is, your new interpretation of what was called a gag rule now is harming organizations that are doing just general health care, whether it is contraceptive care or HIV or just maternal care. I'm going to give you an example. There's an organization called Amadafia, I think I said it right, which is the only health provider in Mozambique. They have lost funding due to the expansion of the global gag rule, estimated that it affects 500,000 people who are receiving care for HIV, tuberculosis, and malaria because they're closing their doors. So here's my question to you, is what kind of analysis have you done or you're doing to see or to understand the effect of cutting off these funds?
So I appreciate the question. We do disagree on abortion, and I'll take that as a fact in how I respond to this. I cannot see how, first of all, you call it a gag rule. No one stopped from speaking anywhere. No. The gag implies, implies they can't speak.
I don't want to cut you off, but you've taken it so far that an organization that doesn't even do abortions are not even allowed to, if they're asked a question where they can get an abortion, they're not allowed to be told. They're not allowed to even have a pamphlet lying around that gives women alternatives. So yes, it is a gag. Okay, maybe you want to look into it.
I'm happy to look into it, but there's no one being denied the right to speak. They can say what they want.
Okay, well, tell about how about getting the health care?
What they can't do is take U.S. taxpayer funds and perform abortions or abortion-related services. These are the activities, and we have continued to provide. There are not a single dollar reduction with respect to women's health care that is associated with the president's Mexico City policy and all the ways that we are implementing that. Not one single dollar reduction. It is perverse to think. When I think about places like China, where most of the abortions that take place are women, it is perverse to me to say that denying abortion somehow.
Let me just reclaim my time.
Harms life.
Let me just reclaim my time to say this. Some of the things we agree. I mean, I don't believe in forced abortions. Okay. But I don't believe in forcing women to have children if they don't want to have children. But here's the thing. I'm urging you, I am begging you to please do an analysis of how this gag rule is affecting healthcare around the world. Because you and I both agree that when women succeed, the world succeeds. And with that, I yield back.